Good morning, my dear students. Our lecture today is entitled Teaching Vocabulary. As we have mentioned in most of our lectures, that teaching vocabulary is an important part of the lesson of teaching English as a foreign language. The students need knowledge of vocabulary items, especially if we teach according to the communicative approach in which the students need a lot of vocabulary items in order to be able to communicate using the target language in different situations. That's why the teacher should give a special attention to the idea of vocabulary. First, let us understand why vocabulary. What is vocabulary? Vocabulary includes the words we teach in the foreign language. New vocabulary items are introduced in each lesson. As you know, a vocabulary item might consist of one word or more than one word. A new item of vocabulary may be more than a single word, for example, post office and mother-in-law, which are made up of two or three words but express a single idea. So, we can expect the vocabulary item to consist of one, two, three words. This question is related to the teacher. What needs to be taught about a vocabulary item? First, the most important things the students need to know about a lexical item are its written and spoken form and its most usual meaning. So, the students need to understand the written form of the vocabulary item or need to learn the written form of the vocabulary item, the pronunciation or spoken form, and the meaning of the vocabulary item. However, there are additional aspects which also need to be learned from the pronunciation and spelling. The students have to know what words sound like and what it looks like. Grammar, it refers to the grammar of a new item, which will need to be taught if this is not obviously covered by general grammatical rules. For example, many students have explained when they tried to present lessons, explain the difference between two ways in which the word patient is used. First, patient as a noun and patient as an adjective. So here we depend on the grammatical or the type of the vocabulary item according to grammar to explain its meaning. The students need to discuss collocations. This is another piece of information about a new item which it may be worth preaching. It's related to the order in which vocabulary items are introduced. Also, we have aspects of meaning like denotation, connotation, appropriateness, aspects of meaning like meaning relationships, synonyms, antonyms, hyponyms, hyponyms of animals, co-hyponyms or coordinates. First, we start with antonyms, which means items that mean the opposite, example, rich, poor. Synonyms, items that mean the same or nearly the same, example, clever, smart, mean, intelligent. Another type of or aspect of meaning is connotation, which refers to the association or positive or negative feeling it evokes, which may or may not be indicated in a dictionary definition. Example, dog has a positive connotations of friendship and loyalty. Denotation, the meaning of a word is what it refers to in the real world. Example, dog denotes a kind of animal. Co-hyponyms or coordinates refers to items that are the same kind of things like red, blue, green are coordinates. Hyponyms, items that serve as specific examples of a general concept. Dog, lion, mouse are hyponyms of animals. We have important tips for asserting meanings effectively. These ideas can be used by teachers to explain the meaning of a new vocabulary items. Of course, all these ideas and strategies should be used according or in relation to the student's level. So we should distinguish between explaining vocabulary items to beginners and explaining vocabulary items in, for example, an intermediate level and in a preparatory level. The teacher can use pictures or drawings. The pictures are available in the text if certain items are not available in the text. The teacher can bring additional pictures. For example, instead of explaining what the truck is, show them a picture of it. Use realia, for example, instead of explaining the meaning of any vocabulary item, the teacher can show them an item, like a book, door, window, etc. And starting from the low level to advanced level. So the activity or the idea should be explained depending on student's level. Use mime. For example, instead of explaining what a happy is, mime it. Use contrasts. For example, with happy, you could also pick up something which is not happy to emphasize the point. Use synonyms of a lower level. For example, for exhausted, you could say a word meaning very tired. Use spoken gap full sentence. For example, I ate 4 pieces of cake. I was very. So this sentence is used to explain the meaning of the word hungry or to help students to understand the meaning of the word hungry. As I have mentioned, with higher levels, the situation is different. In this case, the teacher should use a more student-centered approach in which it's the student's responsibility to find the meaning of the new vocabulary items and to explain them in the classroom. Of course, in this case, the teacher's role is a guide to explain if the meaning indicated by the students is correct or incorrect to help them in producing or pronouncing the words correctly and to have the correct understanding of the meaning of the word in the particular situation in which the vocabulary item is used. The record should include a guide to the meaning, form, and pronunciation. We mentioned that it's very important that the students understand form, meaning, and pronunciation of the new vocabulary items. Students need to be encouraged to review what they have learned in whatever way they find helpful. Teachers should do review activities in class from time to time. You cannot just teach something in one lesson and never return to it. So both teacher and the students need to make a review to the vocabulary items learned previously in order to be able to use them in their future practice. At the same time, the teacher should check the extent the students are successful in using the vocabulary items that they have learned in their future communication. Thank you very much. That's all for our lecture today.